Good morning, everyone. Well, here we are for the Women Creating Wealth with Nikken Cole, or Nikken Women Creating Wealth, or however we like to say it. I'm excited to be here with all of you. And this today is September the 5th. Oh my gosh, 2018. This is I think the funnest time of the year to build Nikken is in the autumn and in the spring. I think there's so much happens, sort of back to school, and everybody's sort of, okay, back to focus, back to setting goals, back to what are we all up to? And it's really a phenomenal time. And our greatest months, volume-wise, rank advancement-wise, are pretty much always in the autumn and the spring. Not all the time. I mean, I know I went platinum in January, and I know I went royal diamond in January. So it doesn't mean January has to be a bust of a month. But generally, these months are really, really good. And accordingly, Nikken has put out, I mean, along with our great packs that we have now and no queue and retail sales every week being paid out, this is exciting. And I feel very, very, very happy about the movement forward that we're taking. So Nikken put out this full back to basics, back to basics special incentive. And I just want to say that, I'm just going to take that one out. I just want to say that I think this is a really wonderful incentive. First of all, the focus, and we all need focus in our businesses to build a business. The main focus, really what we do is sponsoring. That is and should always be our number one focus. Because we're in marketing wellness technologies and we're in outreach, and if you want a great big business, you've got to find people to sponsor. So that's going to be our topic today. And so I have the note in front of me on what the rewards are, but these are reward points, Nikken reward points, which are very, very helpful for building up your own inventory, for lending out, for using yourself, for giving as gifts to others who've done a great job, whatever you like to do. Those Nikken reward points are very, very valuable. And so, if you bring in a new consultant and they do between 500 and 999 personal point volume, you, as the sponsor, will get 75 reward points. That's great. That's a good start right there. If it's 1,000 to 1,999 that they do, the new person coming in, new wellness consultant, you get 150 Nikken reward points. And if it's 2,000 to 2,999 personal point volume that the new wellness consultant does that you sponsor, you get 250 Nikken reward points. And if it's 3,000 or more, you get 350 Nikken reward points. And you can get a lot of products with that, a lot. And I find that one of the biggest mistakes that new consultants make is they don't invest appropriately to really have the tools to build the business. So this is a great way, even for you, possibly even just say you bring in a new person and they do 2,500, and you get your 250 reward points. I mean, you could even give them back something as an incentive to move forward more. I don't know. There's so much you could do with that. So I really like it. I love it that we're back to the focus of building a network marketing business. We are in this because our technologies are incredible, and we're in this because, please mute yourself if I haven't. I thought I muted everybody, but maybe not. Because we want to make money, and we want to help others make money. And, I've been listening a lot to Dave Rolfe lately because he's been so great on his calls and with what he's doing with Smart Network, and I'm loving it. And it's just reminding me of so many of the most important points, of our business. And he always says, I would never have gotten involved except I wanted to make money. That's why he got involved. And I said to him, yeah, and I wouldn't ever have gotten involved if the technologies weren't something I was passionate about, energy medicine and the future of medicine and where we're going and what we need, and making money. Both were critical. For me. And so we don't know what somebody's why is. And that's what we're going to talk about with sponsoring, is that art form around that. But I just thought it was so interesting because he said, Dave said that the more he's been involved in the business, and he's made a fortune, many millions, as you all know, he says he realizes, of course, that we could never have done it without the technologies we have. And so he's really sort of honored that side of it, but it is a balance of honoring those two things. Plus, of course, the growth, the philosophy and the growth, the personal growth. We all love that, and we want that, as well. But our focus to build a network, and we have the privilege of building anywhere where Nikken's open, to be able to sponsor people anywhere where Nikken is open, which is just fabulous, then is sponsoring. And that all comes down to communications. And this is something else I've been really appreciating about my talks with Dave and his calls lately is everything comes down to communication. How we communicate, how others communicate with us, who you're looking for, and that sort of thing. And so I want to cover a couple of things, and I really want to open it up to discussion around this, because it's not like I have any perfect answers for this. It is the most difficult part of our business, I believe. It's easy to fall in love with the technologies. It's easy to fall in love with HBM. It's easy to fall in love with the model of network marketing. The most difficult thing of all is the communications, and having that be comfortable and right and effective. And so to me, that's really the art aspect, or the art form of our business is that piece, this, prospecting, sponsoring, whatever you want to call it. It's finding people that want to join you in a venture that is based on the understanding that the future, it's a lot about the future. It's about building stories, telling stories, listening to stories, building stories together about the future and what is really needed in the future in terms of health. Because, of course, we're working in the healthcare industry, alternative healthcare industry, energy medicine, and what's really required, what is going to be required even in the future that isn't even maybe as required even now. Which is why I talk about things like 5G coming in, because it's very, very serious, and we need to wake up to it. And we don't really want to, but we need to. Just like global shifts and so forth, we need to really wake up to these things. So this art form, I'm going to tell you just a couple things that I feel when I'm looking for someone. First of all, I'm interviewing people all the time. They don't know I'm interviewing them, but I am. All the time. Everyone I meet, I'm interviewing them to see if there's somebody that I would even want to work with. Because there's a lot of people that I wouldn't be interested in. I know one person, and she's very, very, very conservative, doesn't have an entrepreneurial bone in her body, doesn't believe in anything to do with anything Western, Eastern medicine or Asian medicine or anything that's other than Western medicine. And so would I waste my time, my precious time, talking with her about Nikken and what's possible? No. And she complains all the time. And so I listen for that. She complains. So what would if I did sponsor her, she'd be complaining all the time, right? About this, that, and the other. And who needs that? So you're looking and you're interviewing all the time to see, is this somebody I'd actually enjoy working with? Would they be fun? Are they positive? Are they positive people? First and foremost, do they see the glass half full or half empty? Are they possibility thinkers? Possibility thinkers are fun to work with because they're outside the box. They're outside the box of the corporate world and trading time for money, or they're fed up with it and they want to change that. They're outside of the box around medicine and what health and healing really is, and how, self-responsibility and so forth. They're outside the box. So I had a chap here the other day, and he said, I love eureka moments. I live for eureka moments. What does that mean, right? When we have an aha that something bigger than we never knew before has suddenly come into our realization. And I said, oh, me too. I love those moments. That's why I love to learn, because of those eureka moments. It's so much more fun to realize that you don't know much and, put it out there like, hey, I'm open for something new. And so possibility thinking. Now, did I know that he had a background in physics and understood more about the Pi Mag water and the far infrared than me? No, I didn't know, but it wasn't exciting. Oh, yes, super exciting, right? He had a background in biophysics. I didn't know that. I just met him in this random way and we connected. So, however, so I'm looking for leaders. I'm looking for people with charisma. I'm looking for people that come into a room and you notice. I mean, they're there. And they're warm, they're loving, they're not all defended and protected and shut down. They're open to new things, and they're bright. And even if they're in a struggle right now, that's okay, because we really help people that are in a struggle. So, but they're bright and charismatic, and they have no money right now. They're bright and charismatic, and they're sick. They just got a diagnosis that scared the heck out of them, right? That's okay. In fact, that's probably important, that there is something really not okay with what's happening in their life right now, because we can help them shift that. So it's not that they've got it all worked out. It's not that it's all tickety-boo, right? We say that in England. I don't know if you say that, but we say it in England. It doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch, because you don't know what's inside somebody. You don't know what's inside. And somebody yesterday said to me, well, I'm going to focus on, chiropractors and healers. And I said, I wouldn't advise that. Everybody who focuses on a niche market never seems to find success. I said, you don't know who's going to bring the success. And that's Mark Yarnell's story. Mark Yarnell made a fortune. He's passed away now, but he made a fortune in New Skin, I think it was. And his cleaning lady said to him, I've watched you for a long time, and you didn't do anything very special. You just show people stuff and they get excited, and you talk about the future and what's possible in the future. I think I might be able to do what you do. And he'd never even told his cleaning lady about his business. So he showed her what he does. She started, and she became, and gives me goosebumps to say it, the #1 earner in his entire business. She made herself millions, and she made him millions. You do not know what's inside of a human being and what they're ready to bring forward with a pool, with a fire in their heart. And I know I'm a fiery person, and I know I can get annoyed at sometimes, and you have to forgive me when I'm to that fiery, because it's not always great. But I am on fire because I think our world is suffering so greatly, and it needs solutions, and we have them. We have the solutions. We have incredible solutions. Not the only solutions, but we have some really, 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 really good ones. So that's who you're looking for. So the conversation is a dance. The conversation with people is a dance, and it's using a lot of social maturity, knowing who you're speaking with, really taking notice of the signs from them. Are they really very quiet? How are you going to draw them out? You want to draw them out so that they're really talking with you. I don't talk about what I do until a lot of time has passed. A lot of time has passed, and then I really know who they are, who I'm talking to, because then I can hopefully, when it is time, talk in a way that they would be able to hear it, right? And that's the art. There's a lot of art to it, and that's what I love about it. Is we're always growing and learning about this. So this gentleman, it was the eureka moment. We'd had dinner, and he said, "Oh, I'm always getting fired from jobs." He's like, "I'm a cook," and I said, "It's because you're a leader, and the owners of the restaurants are threatened by your leadership. You are just a leader." He's a very dynamic, powerful human being. And do I know that if he chose this, it would have to be his decision? Oh boy, do I know. Yes. Not my decision, his decision. It's always their decision, right? It's always their decision. So they are far more important than the information you may have at your fingertips, or just talking to them till you're blue in the face about Nikken, because it doesn't work, and they go away, and you wonder why, and you feel hurt, and you're like, what did I do wrong, and do they not like me, and all the stuff that we suffer with, right? And we do, because we're women, and we're sensitive, and we don't like to not be liked. We want to be embraced. We want to be embraced. So how can we find this dance whereby that person, man or woman, can embrace you and say, oh my gosh, Suzanne, you have just opened my eyes to something I never thought about before. Thank you. I would love to join you in business. And by the way, it's not joining you in your business, because they're starting their own. So it's joining you in business, and take this to the world. And so you're looking for people that care enough about other people, and not just themselves, that they actually would want to take this brilliant idea to the marketplace. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, I know it makes sense. I'm going to unmute different people, and we're going to talk about it. But those are a few key things for me. So I spend many times. It takes 7 times for somebody to even get something when you propose it. So I will meet them maybe at least 7 times before I even propose an idea of Nikken, unless they're really pulling it from me. I want them begging me for the information. I want them in the palm of my hand where they're saying, Julie, I want to know what you do. I am fascinated. Why are you so vibrant? Or why don't you get sick often? Or why, how have you made the money you've made in the past? Whatever. I want them really asking me, begging. And even then, I'm only going to give them a little bit. a little taste, a soupçon, an appetizer, right? The little glass of sherry or the little appetizer that you get, not the whole flipping meal, not the whole enchilada, because they can't digest it and they will go like this. So you're watching for them to really ask you. And this will help you to have a lot better success. And it doesn't mean, a lot of people say no. A lot of people say no. And the more no's you get, good for you, because the more yeses you'll get. And I can promise you that any diamond or royal diamond in Nikken has just had a lot more no's than you. And that's the only thing they've done right, is they didn't stop. They kept on going. They kept on going. They kept on going. We keep on going because we're looking for a few. Because 3 good people in your team, and you can absolutely spread Nikken to the world. And you can make a fortune as a result. Or maybe you just want to make $2,000 a month, and that's fine. You know, but you can make 5 and 10,000 a month and much more. You only need 3 really good ones. So we get a lot of no's, and you've got to just have water off a duck's back. Yes, could you get better? Could I get better? Oh, yes. So we're looking, how could I have done that better? But don't let it get in your heart like they don't like me. They don't, you know, nobody loves me. I'm going to go down the garden, eat worms by myself, right? That little weird song we used to sing as kids. Because we get that way. We get deflated. We get deflated because it's like, what's going on here? Why? Because it's out of the box. Possibility thinking. It's products that are out of the box, and it's a business out of the box. That business out of the box is another big part. Oh, network marketing. Do you have struggle with that? Tell me about that. And you relax and you breathe. You just breathe and tell me about that. What's your experience? Oh, well, I had this, you know, person and they didn't want to be my friend anymore and I didn't want to do the network marketing thing. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's not network marketing that's wrong. It's just network marketers sometimes kind of mess it up. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened for you. That doesn't need to happen here, right? You'll be my friend whether you're interested in this or not, right? I always tell people that, by the way. You know, the friendship isn't on the line as far as whether you want to do Nikken with me or not. Because that would be awful, right? And that would scare people a lot because they like to be your friend, but they don't want to lose you. So I would like to ask Suzanne, so I feel like you're not always here, and we're so happy to have you here. Suzanne, if I unmute you, my love, tell us some of the key things you do that really help to sponsor people.
Well, I work on my attitude. You know, I work on when I go out the door, the key is to listen for what that person is looking for, to really come from the heart, I think, Julie. You know, I just wrote a whole bunch of notes down on my piece of paper here because, you know, you said comfortable, right, and effective. You need to create that space so that people feel that you're really there for them, not you. You know, you said building the stories together. You know, that's really hearing what their needs are. So that's why, you know, listening for their needs and the 5 pillars are so beautiful for us to just create that conversation to build on. And, you know, I just got a little emotional when you were saying just keep going and get a lot of no's. I'm going to get emotional again. You know, it's not in our time that these things occur. But when you run into someone and you make a change in their life, you have to remember that so that when you're having a down day or something didn't happen the way you really thought it was going to happen, you can go back to that space where you know you changed that person's life forever, you know, physically, financially, and feel those feelings so that when you go out again, you have that opportunity to do that all over again. You just don't know who it's going to be, whose life you're going to touch that day.
That's so beautifully said. It's so beautifully said. And we do have to remember that. I've had people say, you've changed my life. I wouldn't be alive without these products. And then they leave Nikken. And then you're like, how does that even happen in your brain and your heart? Yeah. But it's very difficult. Those are our challenges. People we love that don't want to hear us. Yeah.
I got this from someone, and I don't know who, but on the back of my business card, I created a little sticker instead of double-sided cards with my ideal partners. And I put some qualities on the back of having a big heart and big vision, being passionate and persistent, trustworthy, be part of a team, and have batteries included. So, and please call or text me if you do. So, that's something that it may not be for that person, but I encourage them. They may know someone who has those qualities. And, you never know when that's going to come to fruition. And so, it's putting it out there. And I always say giving people a slice of pie, not the whole pie, but it's finding out what kind of pie or soup or what they're really looking for, and then just give them that little bit so that they are begging for it. I love that. That was great, Julie.
That is fantastic. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. And so it's good that on these calls, I love these calls with the women, because we're super honest on these calls, and we're not saying it's an easy thing. It's not easy to be rejected, but it's not you that is rejected. It's the idea that's rejected, or it doesn't fit into their life, or it's not right now. And, I know I rejected Nikken twice before, a third time where the penny dropped and I went, I'm in. Yes. The first 2 times I wasn't so nice either when I said no. So I understand. And
one last point, Julie, is, I know that I am hard on myself. It's one of these things, oh, why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I talk to this other person? But our role is to just be the messenger. And I know that we've all had these experiences where if only I had whatever it is, fill in the blank. We had neighbors across the street from us. We moved in the same time 25 years ago. And of course, when we found out about Nikken, I wanted to share it with this couple. And she was not ready. She was not open. And long story short, she ended up she took her own life because she was in constant discomfort every day of her life. And, at first I felt really bad, but then I realized I did share. She didn't want to put the mattress. She didn't like to have the mattress pad, the fitted sheet didn't fit right on her bed. Well, that's what we just are the messengers. So to me, it just reminds me, okay, there's someone else out there that's waiting, and we just have to find them.
Absolutely. And what a poignant story. I'm sure we all have stories like that. And, to thank you so much, Suzanne. And to say that, we are storytellers. We want to hear their stories. We want to tell our story when the time is right. And then we really also want to talk about the future. I want to bring that back to, we must talk about the future and build anticipation about the future. I was talking with Ben Woodward this morning, and we were talking about anticipation and how, you anticipate when you're going to get married, and you do all the work to kind of get that on board. It's the anticipation so thrilling. You get pregnant, and that pregnancy is so thrilling, and the anticipation of having your first baby or your second or your third, whatever. It's the anticipation. And we want to build that anticipation with people to show them that, no, it is time for a change in medicine, and we are the future. We are the future. And that what Japanese company that's already been hugely successful in Japan hasn't been successful over here? Look at Sony, look at Toyota, look at the shipping companies, look at the banks from Japan. There are a bazillion examples. Motorcycles, Suzuki, Kawasaki. I mean, let's go, really, it's just a Honda. It's amazing. So we want to build that anticipation of people understanding that this is really coming, and we are looking for them to join us, to be a part of this amazing voyage of really transforming health and wealth on our planet in the West, in the countries where we're in right now anyway, which is a lot. So this is important. I'm going to ask, who am I going to ask? Yoko, I'm going to ask you, Lovey, how are you how do you talk with people? How do you find it? And can you unmuted? Yes, jolly good.
Well, I've changed my focus with launch partners to focus on the next generations. I have spent 15 years of my initial Nikken experience sharing with my family and friends, and that's boomers, and a lot of the boomers' parents. And it's been wonderful. And I have 80 and 90-year-old ladies that take no meds still, you know. So, and for me, the bone pack has been a wonderful blessing. Me personally, because my density was hampered with many health issues in my younger years. So all I could say, and by the way, I take no meds, okay? And I'm 74. So my point to where I'm at as far as my new focus onto business building is the fact that I have never been challenged more because I'm a corporate America person. So anybody that comes from that arena knows that you're supposed to follow, you know, the so-called line, and no one's ever going to back you up, and you got to be able to make sure all your butts are covered before you move. And so it's taken me a while to actually do what I consider is getting my feet wet. And so all of my conversations, I've had to go back and I'm actually looking for my original 100 name list because I've sorely messed up, you know, because I was doing exactly all the no's that we've talked about today, you know? And so now I'm going back and going on the whys, and, you know, then the focus is not so much on, it was never on me, but it was just on this wonderful business opportunity, you know, coming from a business background. And I said, where else can you find health and the ability to create income? And, you know, it hit certain people, but not many, because health has just become an issue in the last 5 years in America. I mean, finally, people are beginning to understand that they have to do something about their health instead of just wish it, you know? So all I could say is I am on my new, like all of us, we continually evolve. And I'm on my new evolution of focusing my efforts to millennials and Gen X's. And then again, that's another challenge, because here's an older woman, but I'm finding, for me, because maybe it's my energy or maybe it's my enthusiasm that I've always been. And then I come from fashion and advertising. So I've always worked with young people, mentoring. So I'm finding my comfort zone again.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to be able to now start feeling that I have some wonderful building prospects that I can, you know, I'm at the conversation level, like you said today, where it's the art of the dance. And it really, it's a wonderful way to be able to describe it, Julie.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. How fascinating. Also to know more about you. It's great.
Well, I think all of us, you know, we all benefit. This is the wonderful platform you've created. You and Barbara Joseph, you guys have created something, because women, I agree with you. Women, I mean, I was in the 60s and 70s, and there were no women, you know, on my business trips negotiating. So women are, to me, the most, I call it unappreciated and hidden talent in this country. And it's actually in the world, like you're saying now with Latin America. Look at how the women are going.
Absolutely. Well, and women rock in network marketing, because we're so relational. So that if we just learn this art form,
yes,
you know, we can do it very, very, very well. Yeah. And so it's just fascinating. So, and you know, the millennials, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, some will really want to listen to us as an older woman, and others won't. And we're going to have to kind of know that, because they want to get to hear from their own generation, and that's also understandable. So I think it's great. We want to see them growing in Nikken, and they have very specific needs and desires themselves. I also think there's many people, especially women, you know, on the age of 50 and up, who, you know, can't find jobs, you know, because the 25-year-old's taken it over, and really, and have a lot of life force in them that they want to bring, and a lot of wisdom they want to bring to the world. And this is a beautiful place to bring it in, because it's so cooperative as well. So cooperative. And I'll just tell you, I was rudely reminded of this. Well, yeah, I don't know, but the other day I went to play pickleball, and I got to see some of the players are just so aggressive. And I go to play to have fun and get some exercise and learn something new and learn some skills. And they're playing a whole other game where they're out to kill, you know, and it's fascinating. And I'm just kind of watch them, and I'm like, what is fun about that? You know, I don't get it, because I've all my life not been a competitive person. I don't like competing with other people. I like to compete with myself at times, not even always, but sometimes I do. But not with someone else. And it was just shocking. And I had a particular person who literally absolutely nailed the ball right at me and hit me twice, right in the chest. And so the second time I said, I will not play with you. I don't know what you're doing, but this is not the game we're playing. And I left the court, and I left the space, and went outside and sat and thought about it. And I thought, this is why I love network marketing. I don't have to compete with Carmen there, who's so gorgeous and beautiful. How can I compete with her? It's not possible. I cannot be Carmen. And I adore her. I adore all of you. I can't be you, and you can't be me. And we don't have to compete like that. We don't have to get mean and nasty. It doesn't have to happen at all. We do have to produce, however. We do have to produce. If we want a business is going to work, we've got to produce, and that means volume. And that means sponsoring people with packs, who get people with packs, and we help the world get better. And we help a lot more people get better if we do that. If we build a big business, we'll help a lot more people get better in this world than if we just try to sell a pair of insoles here and a power band there and so forth. So, but it really, I have been really reevaluating, you know, my own life and why I chose Nikken. And I've got to tell you, I've never seen anything that suits me as well. Coaching, helping, supporting, loving, being free, autonomous, doing my own thing, not being told what to do by somebody else. I can't tell you, there's so much at Nikken offers. It doesn't matter if you're 85 years old or 20, you can do it. I love that. It's a game that everyone can play. It is a compelling game, and it is a noble game, and it is an honor to be allowed to play the game. In my opinion, it is an honor to have this. And we need to get out there and sponsor some wonderful people who see it the way we see it, or the way they see it, that works for them. They don't have to be like us, but we got to do that. That is our work. And that is the dictate, if you will, is to get out there and build a team. So really consider, there are so many things to consider here, but really consider how you are with people, how you talk with people, how you listen, coming from the heart, like Suzanne said so beautifully. You know, all of you are wonderful at doing that. I know that. But bring in also the, you know, the brains of it, bring in the money, study Dave Rolfe, study the, I have a whole list here of, hold on just a second, because somebody wrote, when I saw the incentive, I thought too of the idea of sharing that with the new sponsor as an incentive. Yes, great idea. Yes, with the Nikken reward points, to share them with your new person, they can do the same. But yesterday on Dave's call, just say this, I know we're running a little late, but I'll just say this, like he broke down the incomes, and it's very important to get this. We've got to give people the future, what's possible for them, that they can make a fortune with this. So to make $2,000 a month income, you need 33.333 organizational commissionable volume. We're talking commissionable volume, not just the volume, personal volume, commissionable volume. That's what you get paid on, which equals about 23 wellness consultants averaging 1,500 commissionable volume a month, which is not much. Many of us do a lot more than that per month, right? We want to be working in the thousands. We've always worked in thousands with Nikken, with state systems particularly, and the packs. 5,000 a month income monthly. He actually didn't take that. I just halved what he said for the 10,000 a month income. But so I hope I got it right, because I halved what he said, which would be 5,000 a month income, 83,000 in organizational commissionable volume, which equals 83 wellness consultants at 1,000 average a month. That's very low. 1,000 average. If you're doing less than 1,000, we've got to wonder. So, you know, finding 4 key wellness consultants and helping them find those 83 consultants would equal about 21 each, 21 people each. Not a lot, Not a lot, but they're business builders. They're not just product users. And then 10,000 a month income would be 166,000 of organizational commissionable volume, which equals 166 wellness consultants, which means finding 4 key wellness consultants and helping them find the 166, which is 42 each. That's not a lot. When you realize how much income you can make with so few people, it's quite striking, actually. And I don't know many businesses where you can do that, but they have to be the right ones. They have to be the right people. And that's the key. They must be the right people, so that you are not pulling them along. You're not, kind of coaching them constantly every day. What have you done today? They've got their batteries included, like Suzanne said. They're optimistic, they're heartfelt, they're smart, and they want to take Nikken out to the world. And that's who we're looking for. And Madeline just put up there for everyone. It can be downloaded from daverolf.com, also smartnetworker.com. And I'm going to share his call from yesterday. But we really have to understand these numbers, really want to understand them, and let people know this is kind of what it looks like. This is what it's going to look like if you want to make 2,000 a month, if you want to make 5,000 a month, if you want to make 10,000 a month. So that's all great. We've gone on a little long. I'm really delighted to be with you. We won't have another call until the last Wednesday of the month. So whenever that is, will be our next call. Let's really work on this art of sponsoring and study different network marketers. Just study and learn. And of course, the main study is out in the field. Study by your successes, your errors, and don't beat yourself up when it doesn't work, because you're only looking for 3 great people. Okay, 3 to 4 great people. So I want to remind you of that. We're all stumbling, we're all falling. We get a lot of no's. I probably get a lot more no's than you. I'm going to bet, because I talk to a lot of people. And I have those conversations going all the time in different places on the continuum, correct? So like there could be 20, 30, 40, 50 conversations going on all the time, and I'm at a certain place with each one. Exactly, Carmen, that's right. Wow, because that's what it takes to find the click with the right person at the right time. And then, of course, it's so much fun because we get to help them do the same thing that we're doing. So I feel like we're very blessed to have this. I truly do. In all my inventory that I've been taking in the last while, I'm like, wow, I've never found anything that suits me this well. So I'm blessed to be with you and have a gorgeous, gorgeous month. And let's do a lot of sponsoring. Absolutely. And we'll do follow-up another time, darling, because we have to run out of time now. So Patricia will do that another time. Lots of love. Great month. See you soon. Bye.